The Portsmouth Invitational Tournament on the spot, Norfolk 27. Sponsored by the Auto Connection.
And we welcome you to our coverage of the 72nd Annual Portsmouth Invitational Basketball Tournament from Churchland High School in Portsmouth, Virginia. It's our semifinal to cap our Friday night coverage here on Prep Spin and watching On the Spot Norfolk 27. With James Blackburn, I am Matthew Hatfield. As James, we have Mike Duman Incorporated in the blue uniforms taking on Portsmouth Partnership in the white jerseys. We'll tell you the starting lineups for each side in just a moment, but Portsmouth Partnership getting here thanks to their 77-73 victory on Thursday, where Peter Suter, the shooter, had 24 points to lead the way, including an impressive 4-point play for the Miami of Ohio Redhawk, while Mike Newman Incorporated got their way with a triple-digit performance last night, 104-95 over Portsmouth Economic Development. Xavier Lee, the Florida guard who hurt his wrist, he's playing in spite of it, put on a show with 25 points, including 11 in the first quarter, to go with 5 rebounds and 3 assists. A couple of the highlight names to watch.
Yeah, I mean, check out Robbie Avila, Matt, number 32 in blue with the goggles. Was kind of a sweetheart this year in college basketball at St. Louis. Of course, they had a great run. Jokic-like player, makes everything happen, makes an assist happen, can hit the three, big-bodied guy, plays hard, and just really knows the game. So he's an exciting watch out here. And then definitely, you already mentioned it, Peter Suter, number 22 in white, can really fill it up from outside out of Miami, Ohio. So there's going to be some good action tonight, man. I'm excited.
Yeah, I think Villa has the best collection of nicknames, whether it's Milk Chamberlain or College Jokic, Larry Nerf, I've heard. I mean, he's just got an assortment of them. And we see with the basketball there for Mike Duman Incorporated in blue. In addition to Avila, the 6'10" from St. Louis out of Oak Forest, Illinois. You have Lee, the 6'4" guard from Florida and Toronto, Ontario.
And he just knocked down a three, which is good to see because we weren't sure he was going to be able to play after that big dunk he had yesterday in the fall. So, you know, with that tape on his wrist, he just knocked down a three, Matt. That's encouraging to see.
Yeah, we see, he was favored a little bit in warm-ups, but speaking with Coach Jeremy Jordan, along with Coach Gregory Ackles and Salim Sunmeyer, the staff for this Mike Duman Incorporated squad, that we're wondering about going in a little bit of a late game time decision, but he's a gamer, he's a competitor. That kid's got the juice, as does Kevin Boopy Miller, his backcourt mate, 6 foot tall out of Chicago, Illinois from SMU. Second in the ACC this year, James, in assists per game. 6'7" forward Solomon Washington from Maryland out of New Orleans, Louisiana. He had 9.2 rebounds per game for the Terps this year. And Mark Mitchell, a 6'9", 230-pound forward from Missouri, Kansas City, Kansas. He played a couple years at Duke, and then 2 with the Missouri Tigers, was 77th in the nation and scoring at 18.3 points per game. And we'll give you the starting lineup for Portsmouth Partnership in the white, coached by Evan Key, Eric Johnson, former Grassfield coach, now an assistant at Virginia Wesleyan, and Marwan Sarhan from the pro ranks, as it'll be a couple of foul shots now for Bryce Harris, one of those last-minute replacements, the 6'4", 220-pound guard forward from Brentwood, New York, and the MEAC champion Howard Bison.
Yeah, he was a really late ad, and you know, he's had a good Portsmouth. And you know what's cool, Matt, is a lot of these late ads over the last few years have not just been adequate players. They've been really talented and some of the top players in the field. So he's another good one to watch.
So very true. And Harris, double-double of 19 points, 14 rebounds with 5 assists in their 86-83 win over UMBC in the first 4, before he had 21 points in the loss to eventual national champion Michigan. To go with Harris in the starting lineup for Portsmouth Partnership, you have Javante Campbell, the 6'2" guard from Bowling Green out of Muskogee, Oklahoma, the MAC Defensive Player of the Year this past year. He's wearing number 12. Number 30, Zach Cleveland, the 6'7", 220-pound forward from Bloomington, Illinois. And Liberty, he was the Conference USA Player of the Year. Number 31 is Rashawn Agee, the 6'8", 231-pound forward from Chicago, Illinois, out of Texas A&M, another well-traveled player we'll talk about, and Carson Cooper, number 32, the 6'11", 245-pound forward center from Michigan State and Jackson, Michigan, as we see a couple of free throws now coming for the guys in orange and white from Portsmouth Partnership, and Harris is back at the stripe.
And Matt, this is going to be an interesting game because, of course, the winner of this game, Matt, is going to be playing in the championship tomorrow. And that game that the viewers just saw, the 6 o'clock game, that team that's awaiting them right now with the crew, I'm trying to remember the name of the team, but it's got our guys, Portsmouth Sports Club. those guys can really play. I mean, we had them on the first call with Trey Carroll and crew, and that's going to be a tough team to beat for anybody out here.
You're absolutely right, James. 5 guys in double figures in that last game with Carroll, 16 to lead the way, 15 from LeJay Jones, 14 each from Melvin Council of Kansas, Josh Dix of Creighton, also 10 for Mr. Johnson from Akron. And, oh, by the way, 10 boards for Rink Moss. He didn't score much, but he also hit the backboard. So they're just a well-rounded group, as we'll see who will be taking them on in the championship coming up on Saturday night. It's a 4-2 lead in the early going, almost 2.5 minutes gone by in our semifinal number 2, game number 8 of this event here at the 72nd annual PIT is getting downhill right by Avila as he slides by him. It's Javante Campbell, the guy who is known for his defensive prowess. I brought it up during our broadcast last night, and I think I had Shaman a little bit bewildered here, James, because he played 2 seasons ago with 2 broken hands at the end of the year to Campbell. He broke his right hand on January 7th against Western Michigan, and then he broke his left hand on March 1st against Ball State. But that tells you how bad that kid wants to play, much like Xavier Lee, as we see a jumper is pulled up and knocked down by the guy they call Boopy Miller, who went over 2,000 career points in that first 4 loss that SMU had to Miami of Ohio. And tonight he's going against Peter Suter again, wanting some revenge.
Yeah, I mean, that was a really nice move. You had mentioned Javante Campbell, mainly a defensive guy, but he showed a great change of speed on that play. And then Boopy Miller's had a great PIT, Matt. I mean, with the field that's got a lot of good guards, he's really stood out with his speed, been able to get guys involved, showing good vision. You know, that time got to his mid-range, and he is fast, real fast. I mean, he could really get down the court quick. So it's going to be a good matchup we always talks about matchups, and Javante Campbell, you know, has a little bit of size on him, but I think Boopy's got him with the speed.
A shot clock violation gives it back to Mike Duman Incorporated and Kevin Boopy Miller, the guy that had 11 points, 8 rebounds, and 4 assists in the 104-95 victory over Portsmouth Economic Development on Thursday night. Here's Boopy passing it to Lee. Shot fake, trying to get by Campbell. Here's Robbie Avila up top. His 3 a little short. And the long rebound, though, is chased down as we watch in blue there for this crew of Mike Duman players. Mark Mitchell, one of those guys, too, that he really blossomed at that move to the 5 spot. His offensive rebound rate went down from Duke, but, man, he's a guy that does so many different things on the floor. We mentioned his scoring prowess that he had and the reliability. He had 134 games he played, James. He started 133 of them. So when he was playing, it was usually in the starting lineup. It wasn't a guy coming off the bench hardly at all from the start of his career to the very end.
Absolutely, and really good athlete. You know, of course, playing in the athletic SEC. So what's an interesting thing, Matt, that I've seen so far in this game is we had thought, like we already mentioned, that we weren't sure if Xavier Lee was going to be able to play. And we thought if that wasn't the case, then Boopy Miller was going to have to play heavy minutes. And Avila then would almost be like their backup point guard. Well, what I've seen so far with Lee in the game with Boopy and Avila right now hasn't had the ball in his hands as much as we saw yesterday. He hasn't been able to create as much. So it'd be interesting if he could get the ball in his hands more and able to dictate the offense.
Well, let's not forget they have 2 guys off the bench at the guard spots, and Anthony Roy, the 6'5" guard from Oakland, California, Oklahoma State, and Jordan Raleigh, the 6'5" guard from Brentwood, New York, out of East Carolina. As there's a 3-point shot that is dialed up and knocked down by Carson Cooper of Michigan State. Yeah, the guy that plays the 5 spot from the Spartans hitting the 3 there. But, you know, Riley was the guy that was second in the country in scoring this past year, James. And then in the case of Roy, when he was at Green Bay before his injury, he was leading the country in scoring in December of 2024 at 25.7 points per game. So 2 guys that are used to averaging over 23, 25 points per game can come in and give them instant offense. And speaking of instant offense, throw it down low to that guy and he'll dunk it for Portsmouth partnership. It's Cooper who had a 3, and that time he gets the deuce on a dunk. 11-6 partnership in front here as we near 5 minutes to go in the opening period. Here's the fall-away shot. That one spins out.
I don't even know if Boopy meant to throw it to Mitchell. It's like Mitchell ran into the pass.
Along the baseline, we watch Bryce Harris.
Yeah, you got to give it to him. You got to give him the ball right there. You've got a guy that's 7 inches shorter than you. It's a mouse in the house situation, and you just got to get him the ball. You got to complete that pass.
I'll tell you what, when there's a mouse in the house, I get the heck up out of the house. Jeremy Jordan saying, this is my house. I want to get a championship win. 11-6 partnership in front. You're watching on Prep Spin and On the Spot, Norfolk 27.
The Portsmouth Invitational Tournament on the Spot, Norfolk 27. Sponsored by the Auto Connection.
Final semifinal of this 2026 edition of the Portsmouth Invitational Basketball Tournament from Churchland High School. Who's going to the championship on Saturday night to take on Portsmouth Sports Club, which won earlier 83-66 over Janney King? We'll find out when this one concludes. It's Portsmouth Partnership wearing the white and orange uniforms, white jerseys, orange trim, taking on Mike Duman Incorporated in the blue jerseys with the white numbers. And right now, Partnership up 11-6 with James Blackburn, Matthew Hatfield here as we watch a step-back three from the wing end up in a shot clock violation as Mike Duman is able to force that with their defense rotating over. Better job there. What have you seen so far the first 5 minutes and change, James, that you like?
Well, I mean, I just like the way that these guys are showing that they can play half-court basketball, Matt. I mean, we're seeing some good floppy actions. We're seeing some good pick-and-roll actions. And, the game's slowed down for these guys now. They've been in the gym. They're starting to get to know each other a little bit more. And, we're seeing good ball movement. So both teams are keeping this game pretty balanced so far.
That's a three-pointer for
Solomon Washington knocking down a three-pointer for Mike Duman to get within a pair here, 11-9. Trying to scoop by Jordan Riley, who's just checked in. We talked about him, the East Carolina guard who was such a prolific scorer.
Great pass that time.
And that three-point shot's going to spin out. Boopy Miller's got the board, and he's off to the races. And trying to slow him down is Campbell, who's a defender of a high level. Oh, how about that follow dunk as Jordan Riley gets up again above the rim to throw it down.
And Jordan Riley yesterday, I don't know if you guys saw it.
Oh, we did.
But, I'm telling you what, he had what may have been the dunk of the tournament, and he's had some competition, Matt, because there has been some great dunks at this tournament. But Jordan Riley yesterday, I think, just about cleared a guy.
I'm with you. No argument from me on that one as we watch Riley get it done. And I think the big guy there, Cooper, nearly knocked out one of our coaches from Sales Systems, Kenneth Harris. He's watching behind the hoop next to his son, Noah Harris. You also got the Juice Man, Ray Wittersheim. We got a crowd that is certainly starting to fill the building here, and by Saturday night it could be even larger for the championship game. We have 4 games coming your way here on the Spot Norfolk 27 and through Prep Spin. Our first game is going to start on Saturday at 12:30. It's going to be Portsmouth Economic Development against Rounds Landscape. 2:30 Eastern is the 5th place game with Sales Systems, coached by Coach Harris there in the red you're watching behind the hoop as the 2 free throws are being shot by Cooper. His squad taking on Norfolk Sports Club. The 3rd place game, Janney King will take on the loser of this game as we have a whistle. It'll go back the other way with a violation, and then our championship at 7 o'clock. And by the way, I have to shout out the referees. It was great to see that recognition for Joey Crawford earlier tonight.
Oh, that was great.
Our officials tonight featuring Josh Reed, Jason Albanza, and Gina Cross.
And I got to give the referees a shout out too, because the last game, Matt, I thought they did a great job of letting the guys play. It was quick, which I love. I think a lot of the scouts also love.
Yes.
And they were just letting guys get after it. So I hope we see the same thing here again.
I'm with you 100%. I won't say which game it was on Thursday, but there was one game in particular that you might be thinking of like me that it was not exactly the case as we get the hoop there to inbound.
I was not on that call, thankfully.
No, you were not. As Riley has the hoop to make it 13-12. If you do your homework, you might figure out which one we're talking about, folks. But and that's been really the chatter behind the scenes for some folks here at the PIT too. But we get a screen set here. That one's set by Asar. Ezra Asar checking in, the 6'9", 253-pound forward from USC in Atlanta, Georgia. And another foul here as the physicality starting to pick up here as we near the end of the first quarter. You know it's going to, because it matters and these guys want to win.
Absolutely. I love Azar. I mean, he plays super hard, really good athlete, strong. I mean, man, he is strong. I mean, there's a lot of guys out here that have seen the weight room this year, that's for sure.
And a lot of the evaluators have told me they really think he's a very good one-on-one isolation player with that unique ability to draw free throws and provide the mix of physicality along with athletic ability at that 4 spot. I mean, some are going to wonder how he translates away from the cup, but the thing that just really impressed me looking at some of the numbers, when he was at Utah, he drew 7.4 fouls per 40 minutes, 5th in the nation in that category. So he's a guy that's a skill. We talked about it, I think, with Shammond Williams yesterday. You know how to get guys in foul trouble. Whatever level, whatever competition, conference, different type of defenders you have, big or small. As another free throw's coming for Peter Suter from Carmel, Indiana. And that one doesn't go down. Very odd to see that shooter miss the free throws, and Boopy Miller gets the board.
You don't see that a lot. I mean, he filled it up yesterday. I don't know how many threes he hit, but I want to say it was 4 or 5.
Yeah, Peter Suter was 3 of 7 from deep.
3 of 7, okay.
7 of 11 from the line for 24
Good
points.
pass.
There's a dunk. Oh, what a find there as Mark Mitchell is able to flush it down.
Well, it's a good cut by Mitchell. Great cut out of the weak side corner. And Boopy saw him cutting back door and gave him the nice no-look bounce pass.
And that whistle's going to stop play again with 2:22 to go in our opening stanza, as that one's against Boopy, his first. And it is, in fact, Mike Duman's 5th team foul.
Yeah, a lot of whistles in this game, but you already mentioned it. I mean, a lot of these guys are they're physical players. They are, so.
So with that in mind, we get more free throws. And Ezra Asar goes to the line. The guy that shot 58.3% from the field at Southern Cal. He made 54.4% of his twos at Utah. Now, in his career, free throw shooting has not exactly been his forte. He does get to the line great, but he's 63% there. And you talk with a lot of people that are in the professional ranks, James, how much of an emphasis is that now with bigs? You know, obviously it's different than years ago. People always talk about free throws and big men. You always think of Shaquille O'Neal, the hack-a-shack.
Yeah.
If you're shooting in that 55 to below 70% range, how much is that a big deal? Is it talked about, worked on? What's your kind of take on that with free throws and the big men in particular?
Well, it's a liability, Matt. And, you see it a lot of times. Coaches have to pull out a guy that normally might be in the game to protect the rim, get a key rebound. And a lot of times they feel like they have to pull him out at the end because the other team will foul him and he'll go to the line and not make him. But on the other side of the coin, you get a big that can hit free throws, and how valuable that is, because not only now can he do all the little things, get the rebounds, protect the rim, make plays on that side of the ball, but he can also be in the game when you really need him. So, and you mentioned Azar with his free throws. I mean, you can kind of tell if you look at it close, he's shooting the ball with one hand. I mean, he literally is. He's shooting it with one hand. He's bringing it up with 2, but he's really shooting it mostly with 1. As we see, that was Xavier Lee with just not a good foul. You've got the other team already in the bonus, and you're going to foul the guy, 45 feet from the hoop, and you're going to give a really good free throw shooter and Suter more free throws.
Yeah.
Which he's struggled so far, honestly, from this game. From the line, he just missed another one.
Yeah, we're seeing.
Yeah, 2. I think he might be 2 of 5 now. I don't know if that's updated, but.
I think you're correct.
Yeah, he missed the first one, but yeah.
So 50% for a guy that's much better than that ordinarily when it comes to shooting the basketball from the charity stripe. One of those things that it scratches your head. You see guys that are usually great at the foul line, they have that rough night, and you wonder if it gets in their head a little bit. There's Lee making the pass, a bump from behind, no call. Then Allen Lubin. It was interesting. Jordan Macon talked about it in our last game. Van Allen Lubin, one of those guys in terms of the Ken Palm efficiency ratings. He's one of those guys that was highly regarded, much like Ernest Uday Jr. was in our last game as well that we watched with Portsmouth Sports Club and Jenna King. I mean, those guys, when those efficiency ratings come out, it's something that catches people's eyes. And Van Allen Lubin playing at NC State after playing before that at North Carolina, Notre Dame, and Vanderbilt. So he's one of those rare guys to go from, dare we say, the rival of NC State, North Carolina, to the other team down in Raleigh.
And you're seeing that more now. I mean, you're just seeing that more with the NIL and the transfer portal. Guys now are transferring in conference a lot. And, I mean, you just never used to see that. So I'm glad you mentioned Uday, though, because, you know, I'm in love with this Portsmouth Sports Club team. Of course, we did them on the first broadcast, the game that seems like a year ago now, but it was just a couple of days ago. But Uday, I mean, he plays extremely hard, really athletic, screens really well, and he's really helped himself here at this event, I believe, with teams where, honestly, this year, Matt, at Miami, he was overshadowed a lot by the other Miami guy that we have here.
Oh, Malik Renew.
Yeah, Malik Renew. And Malik Renew, of course, did everything this year for that team. I feel like he was overshadowed, but this week I feel like here at this event, he's really done well for himself.
For sure. We'll see more of Malik Renew, former Indiana Hoosier and Miami Hurricane, coming up tomorrow, as everybody will be back in play on Saturday. That's the one thing about the PIT on Saturday. If you miss somebody and you come for the whole day on Saturday, which is a long day of basketball, you're not going to miss anybody because all 64 participants will be competing in our 4 games, the 8 teams all in action, as it's going to be a jump shot that's knocked down. That one with the feathery touch by Max McKinnon, the 6'6" guard from LSU out of Brisbane, Australia. The Aussie started 30 of 31 games for the Tigers with a team best 15.7 points per contest this past year, and it now makes it a 1-point game.
Yeah, it's definitely worth the price of admission to come on Saturday if you get a chance.
Long range shot, it's buried. Actually, it's going to be a long 2, excuse me. And I think, yeah, they called it a 3, excuse me. It was by Anthony
It was close.
Roy.
Yeah, it was
a
close.
3. I did mark it as a 3. I thought it was going to be a 2 at first, but it is a 3. So Roy, you getting that triple to go.
Let's see if we could get out of this quarter, Matt, without them calling another foul.
I'm not going to count on it.
No, I'm not either.
Here's Suter on the move. 3-point shot for McKinnon. Yes, counted for him. And we've got more 3 balls falling here. It's the 4th of the night.
The tempo's really picked up here, Matt, in the last couple of minutes. The game seemed to be slowing down. I mean, the game was slow in the first 8 or 9, so.
And now Lee looking to hold for the last possession of our opening frame.
Oh, just
It's
a turnover.
Portsmouth Partnership trying to build that lead before the quarter expires, and McKinnon throws it high off the backboard, no good. But 22-21, Portsmouth Partnership with the lead in a period that had 9 lead changes and 6 ties. You don't want to miss the second. Come on back for it on the spot, Norfolk 27.
The Portsmouth Invitational Tournament on the Spot, Norfolk 27. Sponsored by the Auto Connection.
Back here at the 72nd Annual Portsmouth Invitational Basketball Tournament, where the very best when it comes to college basketball, seniors display their abilities in front of the evaluators from all over the basketball globe. With James Blackburn as Matthew Hatfield, one period in the books in our semifinal here on this Friday night, where it's Portsmouth Partnership up by a sliver on Mike Duman Incorporated, 22-21. Xavier Lee kicks it out to Robbie Avila, the guy who starred at Indiana State and St. Louis, can't connect for his first field goal of the night. 0 for 4. Tough start for Robbie shooting the ball. He has not shot it great here, but, you know, we talked about it last night. His scoring went down, his efficiency went up, and he is such a brilliant passer. I just think maybe he's just hasn't found his real groove yet. It could be coming, though.
Well, you know, yesterday, Matt, I felt like he was doing more by setting guys up. And tonight, he's really shot it a lot more. He hasn't had a chance to really be a playmaker with the other two guards in the game. Xavier Lee's done a lot more tonight, I feel like, as a playmaker instead of a shooter. So I'd like to see them put Robbie in some spots that he can be a playmaker. At that time, he got a nice tip in. Maybe that will get him going.
Sometimes getting those garbage points like that can just change your entire direction of the evening. And they're trying to do a lob that was difficult, but Portsmouth Partnership able to get the hoop thanks to Ezra Asar staying with it.
Little Aaron Gordon weak side cut there and did a good job coming down with it and finishing. So
you got to have flexibility to get that to happen, as it's going to be off the mark with Riley. Back comes Portsmouth Partnership trying to get more momentum, and Asar with the one-handed jam throws it down emphatically.
That was a mean jam. It was one of those, just he was angry at the rim and wanted to take it out.
Mean mugging, no doubt about it. 8.5 minutes to go in the first half. On the move. The runner won't go, but the follow is there.
Jordan Riley, that was almost like so sneaky of a dunk, but people don't understand how high he really was on that. It looked like an offensive goaltending as well. I think the referees were a little surprised too.
McKinnon missed that one. We have a whistle. It's going to stay right here as they're going to catch a personal foul on 22, and that's Suter. Beg your pardon, it's going to be on 12 rather, I think. Or is it 22 in blue?
But Matt, we were talking about Robbie Avila earlier.
22 in blue, yes. Okay, Riley.
Even with his slow start shooting, guys just love playing with him, Matt.
How about Avila poking it away for a steal? That slow-mo game can be so deceptive as we watch Lee get it back from Roy.
He's got a mismatch now on the post. Robbie's telling him to get it weak side.
Deep three is knocked out. It was contested, but Anthony Roy didn't care, as the guy that was a prolific three-point shooter with 174 makes at 40.6% over 4 seasons knocks it down from distance.
Yeah, he's a 3-a-D candidate for sure at the next level. Great size, strong, could guard, and like you already said, he could shoot the ball.
Roy played his first year at San Francisco, then New Mexico State, Green Bay, and Oklahoma State to close it out. And speaking of guys, we talk about him going 4 schools, 4 years. Carson Cooper didn't go anywhere. He stayed all of his career at Michigan State, and he's knocking down threes tonight at the PIT on semifinal Friday. Up ahead, there's the layup. Good find there on the cut. McKinnon getting it up ahead to Zach Cleveland, the CUSA Player of the Year from the Liberty Flames, and we've got a timeout. 7:14 until intermission. Mike Duman trailing this one by 3, and we'll step aside. You're watching the PIT with On the Spot Norfolk 27.
The Portsmouth Invitational Tournament on the Spot, Norfolk 27. Sponsored by the Auto Connection.
Portsmouth Partnership in front 31-28 on Mike Duman Incorporated at the 72nd Annual PIT, our final semifinal for 2026. And James Carson Cooper, we were just chatting about it during the break. He's been terrific. 9 points on 3 of 4 shooting from the field, a couple of 3 balls, and we're seeing his versatility, that versatile center that can stretch the floor with his ball skills, long wingspan, and oh yeah, he can shoot it some too.
Yeah, you already said it. He's been doing it inside and outside, and he's been doing it quietly. I mean, he's been super efficient, and he's got a, you know, he's looks from here legit 6'11", looks a little bit lighter than 245. That's gonna be one thing. You know, what really position could he be? I mean, right now he would kind of look to be a stretch 5 at the next level. But you know, he's played well here.
But the crazy thing is he took just 6 threes in 4 years of college basketball. And tonight he's already 2 for 2 and sturdy, serviceable, whatever you want to call him. He might not be that wow athlete, but he's a darn solid player as we watch Asar, fall away shot.
Nice shot.
Knock it down over at Roy.
Little KG-ish right there.
Ezra Asar up to 8 in this one. Mike Duman trying to answer. And a semifinal that's been much closer than our other one. In fact, we were talking about it in our last broadcast with Jordan Makes. Robbie Avila.
There he goes.
Kareem Abdul-Jabbar with the tray ball.
It wasn't going to take him long to get going. He's up to 5 points now in this quarter.
You know, the amazing thing, James, is
Good.
watch.
Oh, wow.
Man, what a dunk that was by Asar. That was impressive.
That was what we like to call an SLD, Matt. Shaq-like dunk.
Ooh,
That's
that
what
was nasty. But all of our games until the last one is another 3-ball for Avila. It won't go down this time. It's knocked out of play. Goes Ohio State with this side here. And Portsmouth Partnership. Beg your pardon, with Mike Duman Incorporated. But the margins of our games before the last one that Jenny King lost by 17 to Portsmouth Sports Club were 3 points, 5 points, 4 points, 4 points, 9 points, and 3 points. All single digits. So
all great games.
All of them have been competitive to the wire, basically.
Well, we were talking back in the media room, Matt, about how good the committee has done this year of separating these teams and, you know, just making them really well divided, even with all the last-minute switches. And that's really hard to do. So credit to the committee for putting these teams together, done a great job, and it's made a really competitive event.
Some really sharp basketball minds as Avila finds Van Allen Lubin with
Watch
a dunk,
out.
and now a 2-on-1 chance. Will they get it to Lee?
Oh.
No, it's going to be blocked from behind.
Zach Cleveland.
Riley had it swatted by the guy that helped the Liberty Flames reach the NIT, a 3-star recruit coming out of high school, and Zach Cleveland, who just a couple months ago, James, had a triple-double against Missouri State. 19 points, 10 rebounds, 11 assists in that 79-76 victory.
Well, he's one of the reasons Richie McKay just got that extension.
Yes, he is.
He had a great year at Liberty, and Liberty had another great year, 20-plus win season.
I think some wondering, is he more of a 4-man type? He creates offense, and he's a heck of a defender. And
He's a
gets the board.
point forward type guy. Really did a lot for that team this year.
His field goal percentage rose from 48.1% as a freshman to 60.7%, by the way, as Lee gets in the lane, has it taken away. Oh, it's going to be off the leg, though. That prevented what was on the mind of one Javante Campbell of a rip and run.
Well, that was great defense overall right there by Portsmouth Partnership. A little too much dribbling for Mike Duman, and Portsmouth just stayed in front of the ball and made him work, and eventually led to a turnover.
You know, Lee made that early jumper, but he's been pretty quiet since then. Now, we watch the inbound here from the side. Zach Cleveland getting it in.
I'd like to see him go off the ball a little bit more.
Campbell over to Cleveland. Going to try to slice his way through.
Oh, tough call. It looked like he was in the restricted area to me.
And that's what the call is going to be, I think. Offensive? Yes.
They call it offensive, yeah. We do have the restricted area on this court. This beautiful Churchill High School. They redid the floor a few years ago, Matt, and they did a great job here.
You help up that guy, Boopy Miller, because he's Mr. Excitement. The SMU Mustang had that memorable running half-court shot to beat Virginia Tech back on January 14th of this year. Had stops at Wake Forest and Central Michigan prior to going to Southern Methodist University. There's Anthony Roy.
He's getting it going. He said, you got to take away my space a little bit more than that. If you give him an inch, he's going to get it. So Anthony Roy's, I mean, he's a good-looking prospect, man. I'm telling you, a lot of these NBA teams, they're going to love his ability not only to shoot the ball, but his size, 6'5", legit size for the wing position. He could defend, and he brings a lot to, you know, NBA teams.
Well, and some wonder when he fractured that ankle in 2024, 2025, how would he do going to Stillwater? His numbers there at Oklahoma State were not too shabby. I mean, they weren't 25.7 points per game, but he was able to get 16.9, 43% from the field, and made 93s. So he still was a very potent player when he had the ball in his hands.
And you're doing it in one of the best conferences in the country, too.
Very fair point. Mike Duman up by 3, 39-36. They've got the basketball.
A little stagger to get him going.
Roy's deep one just popped out, almost was down there to go.
Well, and he's got to understand, hey, just because they run that stagger for you, you don't have to shoot it. So I'd like to give that one up a little bit, but he was hot.
Campbell's got it. He's in the left hand. He gets in the lane. It goes off the leg, but it's going to be a foul, too. So with 3.5 minutes until intermission.
Mike Dubin fouls charge to number 30, Mark Mitchell.
Mark Mitchell's latest personal. It's going to put
Team's third.
Portsmouth partnership closer to the penalty here. 3-point margin right now. We've had so many ties and lead changes, 16 lead changes and 7 ties in this first half.
Yeah. Super tight game. These guys are trying to get to the championship. Play tomorrow night.
Neither team able to get by more than 5 in this one, as that runner won't go down. Rebounded inside for Mike Duman with Solomon Washington. He gets rid of it quickly to Mitchell. Mitchell's changed some positions, and really the system is why it happened is he gets fouled going up to the basket. I mean, he blossomed at Missouri a couple seasons ago. They used that small ball offense, played him as like a 5 guy there, thrived on offense. The defense wasn't as great. I think some wonder about the 32.1% career shooting from 3, but he's a guy that, you know, does a lot of things. You look at the stat sheet when it's all said and done. He's getting points, he's getting rebounds, he's getting assists, he's making an impact.
Yeah, and he's got the size on the next level for the 4. You know, a lot of guys sometimes at the PIT, they're like that 6'9", they've got the frame like him, but they're really 5s. And he's showing the ability here to, you know, play a little bit more on the perimeter and play that 4 spot. Especially right now, I mean, he's playing with Lubin from State at the 5. So big lineup on the floor right now for Mike Duman.
Roy and Asar, the 2 guys in double figures with 12 and 10 respectively. Going inside, it's going to be too many footsteps by Azar.
It looks like he drew the foul. I love Azar's game. He plays super hard, high motor guy, always looking to attack the basket, put pressure on the defense, and he's absolutely wrecked the rims here in the first half. They might have to tighten it up a little bit.
When he was a guy in Asar's case that he mentioned what he did at Utah.
Oh.
Gets to Southern Cal, and
he needed to get, well, yeah. He's lucky he got the foul there. But
a lot of guys that can get double-doubles. And we'll see if someone gets to that tonight. 2:44 to go in the second quarter. We'll step aside. It's a 5-point margin here in the semifinals on Friday night at the Portsmouth Invitational Tournament. You're watching On the Spot Norfolk 27.
The Portsmouth Invitational Tournament on the Spot, Norfolk 27. Sponsored by the Auto Connection.
The Spot, Norfolk 27 and Prep Spin. Your home for this year's 72nd Annual Portsmouth Invitational Basketball Tournament. Where to watch it? That's where you watch it. With James Blackburn, I'm Matthew Hatfield. 2:40 to go in the first half. Mike Duman Incorporated trying to get themselves a date with Portsmouth Sports Club in Saturday night's championship. 5-point lead for the men in the white jerseys with the orange trim. It's going to be a turnover, though, as Anthony Roy gets it for the guys in blue.
Both teams right now, Matt, running a lot of floppy action where you can see two screens down, pin downs, guys popping out, and then a ball screen at the top if you get it on the strong side. Seen a lot more actions today in the half court than what we saw in the first game as guys get to know each other a little bit more, get more comfortable on the floor. So these second and third days of the PIT are always fun.
First of two free throws not going to fall for Anthony Roy.
A lot of free throws in this game so far for both teams. 21 free throws shot total, but guys haven't really made them as much. Seen multiple misses, but super tight game right now, 2 possessions.
Roy's a guy, too, that added some weight to his frame because he was even skinnier prior to last season at Oklahoma State.
Well, they list him as 205 here on my sheet, but I mean, he looks every bit of 205 right out here. Looks closer to 225, honestly. Like you said, he's definitely been in the weight room.
That deflection almost hit our pal Shane Baroner. Coaches over at Western Branch. Used to play at Western Branch as well. We love Shane, all his hard work behind the scenes for the PIT. Does tons of great stuff. Off the back iron, no good.
Oh. Tough fall there. I believe that was, Washington from Maryland. It looked like he got tripped up, but it looked like he had the guy roll up on his ankles. Sometimes those could be scary situations. Thankfully, this year at the PIT, we haven't had many injuries.
Yeah, let's keep our fingers crossed for that. Closing in on halftime, 6-point game. Mike Duman in front. It's the 72nd Annual PIT, and it's with us on the Spot, Norfolk 27. Stay tuned.
Timeout, Portsmouth Park.
The Portsmouth Invitational Tournament on the Spot, Norfolk 27. Sponsored by the Auto Connection.
Minute 57 to go until halftime, 42-36 as Portsmouth Partnership trails this one as we've had
Quick shot.
A combined 17 fouls in this game as we watch Peter Suter come back for Portsmouth Partnership.
That was Anthony Roy, who's been hot this game, Matt, but he's taken a couple of ill-advised threes that were quick, early in the shot clock, well defended. That one was really deep. Just, you could get something better than that.
Fall-away shot for Suter. Oh, that is similar to the shot he made last night, James, as the shot clock was ticking down. Game clock 2.
Down on this end.
Seconds. Yeah, other side of the floor that he made as part of that 77-73 win that was the dagger for Norfolk Sports Club. As we watch Miller draw the foul on Campbell, a couple of free throws coming for him.
Yeah, more free throws. We were just talking about it over 20 free throws so far in this game. This game is really, I thought we were going to get a little bit of a tempo going at the end of that first quarter, but this game's just come to a really slow crawl this whole quarter now.
Pace has not been there, unfortunately. Now, Miller is a guy that can speed that pace up. You talked about this, that turbo button he hits. If you're playing the video game, he's the one that you can, almost like a running back in football, he's got that turbo speed. You hit the button to accelerate, and that one's going to be off the mark on his first free throw try. One more coming.
A little Earl Boykins for you.
that's yeah, little munchkin guard that could get it done. There's something there, and Boopy's got a little more height to him than Earl, but
yeah.
You know, I think some wonder, you know, he is such a dynamic playmaker. He found more consistency in his game at SMU this past year. Can he be fluid all the time in the pro ranks?
Yeah, I mean, it's really hard for small guards now at the NBA level. But, you know, I can see him, you know, taking the long road and going to the G League. He's definitely helped himself here.
Yeah, as he continues to refine little portions and parts of his game, we'll see how it all plays out. 43-38 for Mike Duman. Suter, that was almost like a shot pass that he was a little bit uncertain about it. Now Lee gets the layup.
Yeah, there's that pace we talked about. Boopy likes to get out and go. And the two guards sharing the ball with each other and finishing. Oh,
sleep on Xavier Lee. You're making a mistake if you do. Here's inside the finish for Rashawn Agee.
I don't know how he got that one to go.
First hoop and first field goal attempt for him tonight. He's a guy that's not taking a lot of shots here at the PIT, and really, he was not a guy that was taking a whole bunch in his college career, which, you know, over 5 seasons at Division I level, 4 different schools. He did have 1,556 points, though, and how about that one? It's a dunk, throw down. Mark Mitchell with the finish inside.
Yeah, Mark Mitchell's another one that's had a solid game. I think this is his best game yet here in Portsmouth.
Of course, Agee got the waiver from the NCAA to play last year. He's got that dog to him, that toughness, competitive streak that so many coaches love, including Bucky McMillan.
Yeah, good decision by Buki there. Pull it out, take one shot. Make sure you get the final shot of the half. Got the mismatch. Trying to draw the foul, but he did get the call.
We will head to halftime with Mike Duman Incorporated in the lead, and that lead will be 47-40 for them as they outscored the opposition 26-18 in the second period. We've got more coming away. Halftime is next as you're watching the 72nd annual PIT with Prep Spin and On the Spot Norfolk 27.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Sunwheelers will be back to entertain you at half.
The Portsmouth Invitational Tournament on the Spot, Norfolk 27. Sponsored by the Auto Connection.
Almost ready for third quarter action here with Portsmouth Partnership and Mike Duman Incorporated alongside James Blackburn, Matthew Hatfield here as we bring you the eighth game of our 12 here in the PIT, the second semifinal of the night. Earlier tonight it was an 83-66 victory for Portsmouth Sports Club over Jennings, and right now Mike Duman up by 7 over Portsmouth Partnership. Anthony Roy of Oklahoma State leading the way with 13 points. Ezra Sarr with 10 for Portsmouth Partnership. The USC forward, a perfect 4 of 4 from the field, but the difference so far, it looks like James has been the shooting is better for Portsmouth Partnership than Mike Duman, but turnovers, we talk about all the time, you have twice as many, 10 for Partnership, 5 for Mike Duman. There's the difference in your score right now because it's 16-8 in points off turnovers for Mike Duman's edge.
Yeah, and I mean, the game really slowed down. It came down to fouls too and free throw shooting. But you mentioned Azur, and he had a fantastic first half. Second game in a row that he's played really well, and he's one of the reasons that Portsmouth is even in this game right now.
You see the shot fake, moving the basketball. Here's Xavier Lee getting to a spot. Count it plus the foul. I was just about to ask you, I hate to put you on the spot as Lee gets the hoop and harm here. We're going to look at that, I think, in a moment, as that was just a pretty attack move by Xavier Lee. Here it is as he gets to the low block spot and draws the personal on Rashawn Agee. But if you were to pick an early, again, tomorrow I can change a lot of things, all-tournament team, look at some of the names that stand out to you. If you had 3 or 4 names that might be, well, maybe it's a mortal lock on that spot just yet, but who would be a few guys that you would circle that have a chance to be on there and maybe be the MOP or someone that you come away here most impressed with?
Well, I've been really impressed with Jaden Henley, Grand Canyon Sales System. He didn't play today, but he's been just outstanding so far. We've already talked about the Portsmouth Sports Club team. Trey Carroll's had a great event. I think Melvin Council played really well, Gabe won. He's played, he's had a great event as well. Malik Renew has just been really solid in 2 games. Even when he has 14 and 8, it's almost like that's a bad game for him, and he's played well. I mean, there's just been the talent level this year has just been really well divided, I believe. But there's been a lot of guys that have played well. I mean, Robbie Avila, he hasn't been great tonight, but he was great yesterday. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting. I think it's going to really come down to that third game, Matt, and see who can, have one more bigger performance. But, yeah, it's been a great field this year. We've already talked about it multiple times. So many high major guys from the Power 4 conferences. Players like Burnett and Norfolk that played at Michigan, fresh off of winning the national championship. You don't see that every day. So it's been really good.
That one trickles out of bounds. 9-point margin here as Mike Duman trying to get separation from Portsmouth Partnership, much like earlier tonight Portsmouth Sports Club did against Jennings. Really the big key for them in doing that was their ability to not get so many points off of turnovers per se, but the 3-point shots that were critical and then the 50 rebounds they got as they really, eating glass thanks to Rick Mast of Nebraska and also the 10 assists from Melvin Council with a double-double to go with his 14 points, a big deal. And Council's one of those guys that really stood out along with Trey Carroll and that team that's got so many weapons.
Well, we haven't even talked about Mast yet from Nebraska, and he had a great game tonight. That team is just so deep. They have no holes. Josh Dix was a great game 1. He was great game 2. Hadley was great game 1. Trey Carroll, we've already talked about a million times. Uday has been just outstanding for Miami.
But you're so right. Mass did have a really effective game. He had 10 rebounds, and he was as good a player as he was on the floor. Only had 2 points in the game, but he just didn't besides scoring. Yeah.
Well, he affected the game. He's a winner, and does a lot of what Avila does, where guys love playing with him. He makes good things happen. He doesn't force issues. He doesn't turn the ball over. He plays his role, and he knows how to make the right play.
Those things matter.
That was a weird play right there where Xavier Lee, just fell down. He fell on that wrist, Matt. He seems to be favoring that a little bit, and result. Had a good result for Mike Duman, who's extended out this lead, now up 9. This is the biggest lead of the game.
How about the block by Mitchell there for Mike Duman on defense? Throws it up ahead, leaking out. There's Lee. Oh, and that one just got away from someone, but he gets it back from Avila. That three-point shot unsuccessful, and the board comes out to Cleveland. Here comes Javante Campbell on the move. Agee trying to knife his way inside. There's Rashawn Agee showing what he can do with that physical dog mentality to him. Woof, woof.
That was just a bowling ball play right there.
Look at this.
And he's pushing a guy like Avila, who is no slouch, 240-pound frame, just kind of pushed him out of the way and got the hoop of the harm out of it.
Agee in his college career, 391 of 567 from the foul line at 69%. So he knows how to get to the foul line a lot, too. You got a couple guys like Agee and Assar that can get to the line consistently. It's going to matter here as they try to salt this one away. Portsmouth Partnership, if they are able to get in front, it could matter a big deal, because you feel like Mike Duman's got this lead here, but Partnership has got that spurt ability in them. It's very possible. They've not gotten a hot from 3 yet. 3 of 8. If they hit 3 or 4 of those and they get in front, Mike Duman could be in some trouble.
Well, Portsmouth is really more of an interior team. You talk about Azur, from USC, does its damage inside. Aggie, also does its damage inside. That's what they do. Even guys like Zach Cleveland, more of like a playmaker rather than a three-point shooter. So they've only taken 8 threes, whereas Mike Duman's taken 18 threes. So over double the amount of threes being shot, but Mike Duman also hasn't been making them, only 5 of 18. So if you could take them, you got to make them. And, that's why we still have a really tight game.
And we could see Peter Suter.
He could start heating up. Yeah, he's their shooter. He's their shooter that they have, absolutely. Buki Miller, another one. Bupi Miller, I'm sorry. From SMU, you were talking about all-tournament team. They win this game, he could find himself on there as well.
He'll be finding himself in championship Saturday night, competing for the trophy. And it's going to be in the lane. McKinnon unable to finish it. And there's Agee trying to draw the foul yet again.
But great job that time by McKinnon of running through the pass out of that corner. That way he could get to his spot, and just a little out of control.
I'm not sure Agee needed the spin move. He hit the B button on the controller, and it was not necessary on that one.
Well, he's looked a little out of control here multiple times this game. That's just an ill-advised shot right there.
There's the follow by Mitchell.
That was another shot, I believe. Was that Riley or Roy that shot that one? It looked like, I can't see the number. Looked like that was Roy.
Offensive rebounds, though, a big deal, James. 12-3, and I think that's where Portsmouth Partnership is hurting themselves. They have, as you mentioned, those inside pieces, and they're just getting those offensive rebounds that are demoralizing a run for them. Just when you're getting ready to pull this to a 1 or 2 possession game, they hit you with a stick back or a big play, and, it's like it's a sock to the gut.
It's right back to 9 points again, so I'd like to see Aggie that time. He did a better job of being more patient. He didn't rush the move, and he was able to get really deep post position, get to his spot, and find himself back at the free throw line.
Rashawn's a very vocal guy, too, as he hits the first of 2 free throws. And, this is a team that initially when the roster was complete, Duke Miles was going to be on this team from Vanderbilt. Ends up being replaced by Bryce Harris. And Bryce Harris tonight, all 4 points for him from the free throw line for scoring 11 in the victory last night over Norfolk Sports Club. McKinnon had 14 in that game, just 5 so far tonight. And Assar's had his numbers about on par with what he did yesterday with the 10 points so far, 13 yesterday. They got to get Suter going at some point.
No, they do.
Be crucial.
And Mike Duman on the other side needs to get Avila going, because he was such a big part yesterday, and today he's been really quiet. I feel like the ball, Lee and Bupi Miller have been good, but they've also occupied the ball a little bit too much off the bounce, and it just hasn't allowed some other guys to get going. But they still see themselves in the lead. Nice behind the back pass.
How about that from Suter? Now, Sean Agee's going to throw it across court. Campbell's going to try a triple. Beg your pardon, that's rather Harris, not Campbell. And it's, I got my numbers mixed up. I was dyslexic for a second there. It was not 12, it was 21. And here's a 3-point shot. It's deflected. From the perimeter, as we see McKinnon getting out to it.
This game's starting to get a little sloppy now, Matt.
Our man Jimmy Duke was getting ready to be prepared as he saw the big body of Mark Mitchell coming his way.
That is not a place you want to find yourself there at courtside. You got to have a good health insurance plan, Matt, I feel like, to be a courtside season ticket holder in some of these places.
Yeah. Jim operating our clock tonight. Great crew we got down there. A lot of folks I know from over at Old Dominion. We got the stat guru. He's done it all over the area from Apprentice School to Hampton to ODU. Jim Heath. We got Chris Queenman alongside with Gary Owen down there on the stats with Jim. And
what about Cliff Sales?
Cliff Sales, got to give Cliff a shout out with Mike Morris. The PIT, they do a splendid job getting us all the information, the rosters, the intel, before we even show up here at Churchland High School to make us sound even better than we are told by some people, which we say, really? You think, okay. As Xavier Lee gets the basketball, they say, they enjoy the coverage. And it takes our entire team from Prep Spin, too, of course, headed up by William Warfield in the truck. Big thanks to him and everybody giving you the angles and the shots, and we'll mention them all to you in a bit. As it's now with Jordan Riley trying to get Mike Duman more of a cushion. They've gone a little quiet these last two possessions. Roy for three, and that's going to help ignite them again. They have those lulls, and then boom, Roy makes a big play. Riley, they complement what Boopy and Xavier Lee do, and it's a little bit like the team that's already clinched a spot in a championship here, James, in Portsmouth Sports Club. There's so many different, you try to plug all the holes, and you can't plug them all up.
Yeah, I mean, Roy's a guy that's not shy about putting them up, and you can't give him any space. I mean, you got to always know that he's a threat to shoot the basketball.
Agee gets the offensive board not once but twice. Suter missed the first shot. Can they make the second outside shot? Nope, that one's not going to fall for Harris either, as they stay cold from behind the arc right now, as they are 3 of 11 in this contest, and we've got a timeout on the floor. All threes on the clock in the third quarter. Yeah, 3-3-3 in the third, and you want to keep it tuned to the PIT with Prep Spin and On the Spot Norfolk 27.
The Portsmouth Invitational Tournament on the Spot, Norfolk 27. Sponsored by the Auto Connection.
So many great partners to help make this event and our broadcast possible. You see, the young floor sweeper, the Auto Connection. Big thanks to them with James Blackburn, Matt Hatfield here with you. Of course, you see a lot of these sponsors that have the team names like Mike Duman Incorporated, Rounds Landscape Service, Sales Systems, and all the people that make it possible. Janet King and Town Bank, you see that's one of the presenting sponsors. And also have to mention Rivers Casino. I mentioned earlier tonight, James, that as that three-point shot is buried from the outside.
Jordan Riley showing he could not only get up, but also hit the outside shot.
Our man Tanner Massey correctly predicted that there were correctly called it 7 players last night that played all at one Division I program. So that gives us a total of 12, because I mentioned to you guys 5 the first night. 12 of the 64 participants stayed at one school, Division I college hoops. So I think Tanner might be finding his way over there to Rivers Casino to see if he can have his lucky night and be a millionaire by the end of the evening.
Well, I hope not, because I've spent some time with him on the tables. And Rivers Casino will hope that he visits tonight because they might be making a little bit extra cash.
So at the line, it's Asar.
Definitely, Tanner definitely needs to stay in the coaching ranks, because if he's trying to go pro in the gambling halls, he might be struggling.
You and some others might have heard. I'll mention again. We had my doppelgangers. I love the lookalikes. As of course,
oh yes,
at the line you have Asar, but we brought up Tanner's and Terrence Oglesby the first night. You know who I've got for Marwan Sarhan, the coach over there for Portsmouth Partnership, along with Evan Key and Eric Johnson. He's standing up right now. You know who his doppelganger lookalike is? I mentioned it last night. I don't know if you caught it or not on the broadcast. He's got a little bit. Shamal Williams said he can see it. He can see a little bit of it. Do you know who it is?
I mean, it's a player. He looks like
it's an NBA player getting ready to play in the postseason this weekend.
Well, I was thinking of if his beard was a little longer, a Drew Gooden.
Well, there's a little bit of that, but I was going with Rudy Gobert, the former NBA defensive player here at the Timberwolves. He's got a little Rudy Gobert.
I like that. Yeah, he needs.
We'll see if our camera guys catch him there. As we've got Joe Allen up top, we got William Morford back in the truck. We've also got our man Clyde Martindale, and of course Torrey Bailey on the floor. We'll see if one of those guys gets a shot of Coach Sarhan over there on the Portsmouth Partnership bench standing up.
I like it.
A little Gobert to him.
No, he does. If he was about 5 inches taller.
Now, Jeremy Jordan, who's pacing the sidelines right now, he of Poquoson High School. He's led Grafton High School to a couple of state championship game appearances here in Virginia, and he's coaching at his alma mater at Poquoson now. Our broadcast partner, colleague, Coach Ed Young over at Smithfield High School, former college coach as well. He had a couple of battles this year with Jeremy, won one, lost one, and he is nicknamed Jeremy the Professor. That's his nickname for Jeremy. He's always studying. He's got all the notes, everything.
He's like you on the mic, man.
Listen, Jeremy
is a professor.
He has it down to a science. He is definitely one of the best in Virginia. We got a steal now.
That was
on the move, the dunk. How about that by Washington?
Well, that was one of the most obvious kick balls I've seen here. Your Rudy Gobert is still upset at the official for the miss. For the.
No, it's not Rudy. He's getting ready for the Nuggets this weekend as the Joker.
I mean, you can see him. He's going out to half court right now. They missed it on the replay, but it was an obvious kick, and you see him now at half court.
Yeah, you're right.
And he is very upset because that allowed, that's allowed Mike Duman now to get up double digits in this game, and he cannot believe it as he's still riding the officials. We don't see a lot of technical fouls for the coaches at the PIT, but
so you're thinking he could be on the verge of one if he doesn't.
In there, they just showed it.
Yeah.
They just showed it. Here they're going to show it again.
You see, look at this great slowdown by our crew.
This is a good job.
You're absolutely right on it.
Right there, kicked the ball.
Foot.
Yeah. Missed an obvious call that led to a breakout dunk.
That's a big change in this game here.
Absolutely.
Because instead of it being 13, it would be 11, and you might get a score to make it 8, and then you're still right there in connection. A couple of missed shots around the rim, and it's going to be pulled away by Zach Cleveland. He of Partnership. Can they capitalize now?
Oh, great.
That one goes off the backboard. How about that finish by Bryce Harris?
High glass finish by Bryce Harris, who's the replacement. Like you said, he's not even on the roster,
and
man.
I didn't get to see a lot of Bryce in college as much as Shimon and Ed did, but they both talked about how he played different positions, and that guy was really, really good. They felt like, you look at his size, he doesn't look imposing in terms of vertically or height-wise, but, man, he does so much on the floor.
Well, he's been in the weight room, I can tell you that. So
99 threes, by the way, in all 5 of his years at Howard, 744 rebounds, and he's kind of that guy that can guard different spots more so than just play different positions on the floor.
Yeah, glue guy, and trust me, I don't care when you were invited to go to the PIT, whether it was the early invite or the last invite. If you were invited to this event, you could play. Mark that down.
Listen, there were some big-time SEC names that we heard were coming. Didn't come. We still have some really good players coming here, but my gosh, people were salivating at the thoughts of some of those guys that, wore uniforms for the Razorbacks and Wildcats, some schools like that.
Yeah, Kentucky, I remember.
Were on the verge of being here. We've had some names from some of those schools in the past here, but and there are players that could get picked, but there's also some players here that could find their way on a draft board second round. I mean, we mentioned it last year that we had Kobe Sanders, we had Jemai Meshack, Julian Reese among those that found their way into the National Basketball Association as the second foul shot is buried by McKinnon.
There was over 10. If I'm not mistaken, last year. I want to say 13 guys from last year's event through some sort of 10 days, call-ups, however it is, they've found their way onto an NBA floor and an NBA regular season game. So the talent level of the PIT is never disappointed, and definitely still here.
Well, obviously, several years back it took a decline, and I think it's hitting an uptick because of so many freshmen, A, and then B, with the portal and things now, so many seniors that are not getting that early look like they would have in the past. They're now reconsidering their thoughts of playing in the PIT. So just the thought that some of these guys in the years ago, they said, no way am I coming, they're now having to give it a second look and more serious consideration.
Well, the senior level class is just so talented. Where, like you mentioned it, some of these guys that may have left as juniors or sophomores to go to the NBA to give it a shot are now staying in college basketball because there's more money. And because of that, and they want to get to the combine. I mean, a lot of these guys, it's all about steps, Matt. You can't think I'm just going to get drafted. You have to go through the steps. PIT is the first step. You've got the G League combine coming up. You've got the NBA combine. You've got your NBA pre-draft workouts. Then you have the draft. You don't get into the draft, you've got to go to Summer League. You've got to go the long route, G League. And then, of course, you've got the international. Definitely a lot of international presence here at the PIT, like always, with Europe and Asia. So many avenues to go play professional basketball.
The floater was good from Carmel, Indiana's Peter Suter. That time the jam was even better from Jordan Riley out of Brentwood, New York for the ECU Pirates and Mike Duman Incorporated. 9-point game. But AG says, anything you can do, I can do better.
That's a little Rain Man, Sean Kempish
that was
right there.
Electrifying Rashawn Agee with that dominating dunk.
And the help side defense on both sides right there was was pretty much non-existent.
Get out the way. Get out the way.
Absolutely. And here he comes
get out
again.
The way again. How about that dunk
hand
from Anthony Roy?
Wow.
The Roy toy is out tonight
Man.
in Portsmouth.
He thought he could just shoot threes.
And it's going to give the Mike Duman Incorporated fans a lot of joy as Roy is.
Is it just me, Matt, or have I seen more dunks this year than like a lot of recent years?
Here it is again. We watch it one more time. Woo! Roy.
Well, that was the first one. That was Riley. And
Yes.
then here is the big one from McGee.
And now here's Roy.
Yeah, there it is. 3 dunks in a row.
All powerful. And 3 quarters are in the books. More dunks, blocks, excitement awaits from Churchland High School at the 72nd annual PIT with us and On the Spot Norfolk 27.
Coverage is brought to you by Von
The Portsmouth Invitational Tournament on the Spot, Norfolk 27. Sponsored by the Auto Connection.
You're catching the 72nd annual PIT through the spot. Norfolk 27 and prep spin. Mike Duman Incorporated leading it 69-60 over Portsmouth Partnership, which got 24 points from Peter Suter on Thursday in their 4-point win over Norfolk Sports Club. Tonight, Suter has been contained with 7 points, but we saw a trio of big-time dunks to end the third quarter. James Blackburn, as it was Rashawn Agee from Texas A&M. We also had Anthony Roy and Jordan Riley of Mike Duman Incorporated getting on the dunk fest that we have here in Portsmouth.
Peter Suter's done a nice job, Matt. That time, just a little bit too much. But, I mean, he's done a great job of dictating the offense. He's gotten his guy in hostage dribbles multiple times, using the pick and roll, getting downhill, and making good reads.
Yeah, leads them in assists with 5 so far tonight. And we'll see who else can be that playmaker for them as they try to claw back, trailing by 9. A little head fake move, and the finish is there for Solomon Washington. He's a player that at Maryland, he logged in his college career playing for Buzz Williams, 3 years at Texas A&M, 1,899 minutes, but he's got a bouncy wing type of body that invites that contact.
Buzz was here yesterday, actually, Matt, to watch.
I missed Buzz.
Yeah, he was here sitting about right in front of us, about 6 rows down.
I know he was not sweating as much as he does during the games.
No, he was enjoying it. You see a lot of the college coaches come back every year. Will Wade was here yesterday.
I did see that. Damon Stoudemire, former Georgia Tech coach, was in the attendance. Of course, you heard some interviews yesterday with Robert Jones of Norfolk State, John Krikorian, Christopher Newport University, and many more will probably find their way through the door on Saturday as they are busy this time of year.
It's a tough time. I was going to say it's a tough time for sure. You've got some big staffs at a lot of these schools, so a lot of times you've just got one member of the staff comes out.
You know, it's crazy. Robert Jones yesterday, or I said today, the Spartans announced they signed, as Avila gets the putback, the state player of the year from Norview High School in Norfolk, Keon Mitchell.
Wow.
He led Norview to a state championship this year, so they added him to the backcourt, and Robert's going to coach his son Justin, who comes from Atlantic Shores next year, which will be interesting to see as they're getting more talent from the 757 area code, with AG getting the putback there. 13-point margin. I checked that 11-point margin now at 73-62. But yeah, there's always, you know, either signing a high school player, getting a JUCO player, getting a transfer portal player. There's always movement every day, it feels like, in college basketball, as long as the portal's open and you can sign players or announce those signings. Says it's going to be an easy basket there for McKinnon on the run out. You know, McKinnon had that monster 34-point game in the double overtime win over Ole Miss in February. And one of the things we were talking about last night, James Shimanomi, is that, you know, he gets to the foul line so well and has such a smooth stroke and a high basketball IQ. He's a player coming from Australia that you can't sleep on either. Here is McKinnon again. That one just spun out. Had that one gone down, it would have made Mike Duman sweat some more.
Yeah, they really needed that one.
And Coach Jordan is not going to waste any time. He wants to get a quick timeout to make one subtle adjustment, or two, maybe three. So we'll take a timeout, too, with 7:45 to play. Portsmouth Partnership trailing by 9 at the PIT. You're watching On the Spot, Norfolk 27.
The Portsmouth Invitational Tournament on the Spot, Norfolk 27. Sponsored by the Auto Connection.
Back here at the 72nd Annual Portsmouth Invitational Basketball Tournament, Mike Duman Incorporated leading Portsmouth Partnership by 9. Anthony Roy's got 20 points to lead all scorers. Also helping pace them Solomon Washington of Maryland and Jordan Riley of East Carolina with 11 points apiece as the guys in blue have the basketball with this 9-point cushion, trying to scoot right by Carson Cooper. Missed shot. Agee gets the rebound, throws it up ahead to Harris, who was fouled.
And Matt, while we got a little bit of a break here, I know you're the king of shout-outs. Always shouting out everybody, doing a great job. I want to give you a shout-out. You're going to be doing 12 games here at the PIT, and those at home might think that is an easy feat, but as somebody that's been doing this now for a while, and we've been in the booth multiple times over the years, doing 12 games and having the notes that you have and the background and the insight on the action, that's an incredible feat. And I don't know if you're trying to accomplish a Guinness World Record here by doing the most games straight, but you're doing it. You've got your bag of cough drops, you've got your waters.
That's how I get through it.
You're set, man. You are set. So.
It's very kind of you. It's a love of basketball. But as I mentioned, you see, you bring up shout-outs. I'm going to give some more. It's all those people like Patsy Moore Griffin and Karen Cooper, Clint Oliver, Kathy Wise, and Bob Wise that help keeping me hydrated and not hungry anymore, and they take care of me, so they give me the opportunity to give some of the insight and info to all of you out there watching. So,
well, it's become kind of a tradition for me here at the PIT to always give shout-outs to the media room and the hospitality suite because
they do such a super job.
They do a great job, and they keep me well fed, and you will always see me as one of the first ones in there and last ones to leave. That is for sure.
Well, and listen, Coach Young will come on tomorrow and tell you that I'm first-team all-hospitality at MOP. He's not sure he's going to make his first-team all-PIT team, but he's like, Hatfield's in there more times than he should be. He gets me in trouble more times than he should, by the way, as we take under 7 minutes to go. Here's the top of the key. 3, it's short for Roy, but how about the putback by Riley? His body control.
Body control,
he's got it on point.
No, I mean, took the contact, finished. That was great body control there. It's Riley.
You know, he's had quite an ascension from seldom playing at Georgetown with the Hoyas, but one of the things that Scout told me when he was at Georgetown, they said, look, he's not getting the full out, but he's crazy athletic. And we've seen it here through 2 days. Nobody's going to say, or I should say 2 games, how crazy athletic he isn't. As Agee gets the hoop there.
Well, when we're talking about athletes, I mean, my goodness, we've got Riley, okay? We cannot forget about Lawal for Virginia Tech. I mean, my goodness.
See more of tomorrow. If you missed him, folks, get out of here Saturday. He's tremendous.
Well, he actually measured out. I was talking to a guy yesterday, Matt, and he said that with their measurements, as we see the 3 there by Avila, but the measurements, Lawal actually measured out better than anybody here. 41 inches.
Wow.
Back spurt. He's already 6'8", so a little early reveal there with the measurements by BAM testing, so you do not want to miss him as he's been all over the place on the rims, but he's got some good competition here with some other athletes.
And he'll be in action with Sales Systems in the 5th place game at 2:30 tomorrow for folks that want to check him out. They'll be playing in that game against Norfolk Sports Club. It'll be the 2nd of 4 games tomorrow and game number 10 of 12 here for the week, as it's a 10-point gap with 5:21 to play.
Well, you talk about against Norfolk Sports Club, talking about another athlete. How about the dunk Seth Trimble had last night?
Yeah.
That was probably one of the top 3 dunks here this week.
And we'll see more of these big-time high flyers as we move things along at the PIT. Learn timeout with Prep Spin and On the Spot Norfolk 27.
The Portsmouth Invitational Tournament on the Spot, Norfolk 27. Sponsored by The Auto Connection.
don't know if you saw it, James, before we went to break. The bling from our guy, the Juice Man, Ray Wittersheim. Everybody's going for the hardware here. Some kind of bling. If you're not in it to win the ring, what are you in it for? You want to win the championship, right?
Well, look, you know all these local guys. I don't know the Juice Man, but
there it is. Look
everyone
at that.
with the nickname the Juice Man
Look
is
at that.
good in my
ODU,
book.
look at that bling.
That's right.
You know
I
what?
love
He
it.
supports whether it's Ricky Ronnie and the ODU football team, the men's basketball team, and Mike Jones, the women's basketball team, and Delisha Milton Jones. Talking about some royalty. Delisha's a women's basketball Hall of Famer now. Come on now. L.A. Sparks, champion, all-star. He's there at almost every ODU event. I don't think I ever miss him. He's always there. So big shout out to him coming out and supporting the PIT. I think he's been coming to this event for, shoot, he might be coming here longer than I've been alive, but he's been here for so many of them as we watch the 10-point gap.
It's funny you mentioned that about coming to the Portsmouth. This is my 14th year, Matt.
14th,
and I
okay.
feel like, you know, I'm still a baby. Unless you've been coming to this thing for 25 years, you shouldn't even be in the discussion.
Anthony Roy with a great drive and finish. You know, I brought my father a few years back, Mike Hatfield. I'm going to give him a quick shout out. The class of 77 JMU Duke. I know that's the rival of Old Dominion. And they had the commemorative PIT book. I don't know if they're still, if those are still
I
available.
remember
folks.
they
Remember
sold that a few years ago.
He's got that, and he and some of his buddies were, I know, impressed with it, as were many fans that came in for that. Our guy, Super Eric Rogers, who's a diehard Hoops fan out there, might be watching. He comes in every year. He loved it as well. It's one of those great things. The PIT has so much neat memorabilia. You get shirts here, hats here. So if you come on out and you've never been to the PIT, they take care of you, the folks at the concession stand, and some of the items you can get that are neat, you know, things and keepsakes, if you will.
Well, it's got nostalgia at this event, and it's got a history. I just love, you know, walking around. You see the same people every year. I feel like this event has never changed. The same people sit in the same spots. You feel like, you know, it's once a year you come back, but you feel like you've never left the gym. You know where everybody's going to be. Friendly faces. Everybody's going to be in one location. And I called it today. I said it's basketball's best kept secret. It really is.
It's the family reunion without the annoying uncle or cousin or somebody that you can't get away from. Because you only see these people 3-4 days a year. You don't have to go every, summer, every barbecue. We can say that, right? My cousins and uncles aren't listening, are they? I don't know. 4:50 to go here. 12-point gap. Mike Duman with the basketball and the lead. They've been led by Anthony Royce, 22 points. And right now we watch Mark Mitchell. Went from Duke to Missouri and didn't shy away from competition in big moments as we see the missed shot on the runner. Agee gets the rebound. We've seen more plays from Agee in the second half now with a double-double of 15 and 11, James, and I think he was struggling in the early portion of this event, but he's starting to get more acclimated and comfortable out here against some of these big bodies and what he's facing.
No, I think Agee early on was just trying to do a little bit too much, stuff that wasn't necessarily in his, as the kids call, his bag. And but he's been getting more comfortable, been playing his role better, and has been playing hard and had a really productive game. Like you said, a double-double, and been super active this second half.
Vanilla Lubin missing that three-point shot. Now it's going to be Portsmouth partnership. We'll see if that had the extra pep in her step here, a sense of urgency. As Suter's going to get it over to Harris.
Well, like,
swing the basketball one more time and get a good shot from three. Here's Suter again to Harris. They run it back again, and that one's going to be off the mark, but
they just haven't been able to buy a three this game.
And Mike Duman's not giving them a lot of floor space either. They've kind of closed out some of those gaps and lanes to get clean shots or drives for that matter. That one's going to be off the mark again with Cooper in the rebound. Pulled in by Lubin from NC State. And Lubin loses the handle as that ball. We talked about it last night, did Charles Blackwell Isler and I, the slippery basketball, that different style of basketball.
NBA. Yeah, that's just one of many adjustments. You've got the different basketball. You've got the longer three-point line. You've got different rules. So just a lot of adjustments for these guys on the fly. But you talk about Portsmouth partnership, Matt, find themselves down for the majority of this latter part of the second half, down double digits, 3 of 17 from the three. And it just, you hit less than 5 threes in a game out here, you're going to have a hard time to win.
And now the basketball from behind the hoop. Where they going? It's going to go inside. Trying to back down against Agee. The kick out to Lee.
That's a long two. He had his foot on line.
And we haven't heard from him in a while, but of course playing with pain at that injury.
Oh,
that dunk from Carson Cooper. Stand up Sparty as he was able to get that one to go down.
We haven't called his name out a lot at all in the second half. He had a great first half, a quick 9 points to start the game. Here we see it again. And almost looked like he put it up so quick. I thought the ball went up through the basket.
It almost looked like it was that angle. Not an easy angle to get that one done. And a guy that was regarded, we touched on it a little bit yesterday, more of a defensive wizard. Here it is on the break. You see Campbell finding Cooper.
Great body control, and I mean, my goodness.
I'm not sure Washington was going to get that block on him. It was going to be a tough angle to get his hands on that one.
Cooper, of course, one of these guys coming from a blue blood type program coached by Tom Izzo, who can never count them out at Michigan State, can you, with a heck of a run this year, again in a tournament and in a tough pool. Tough bracket. That bracket was just loaded, wasn't it? I mean, with Duke in that bracket and St. John's.
That regional alone.
UConn, and my word.
I mean, when UCLA's a lower seed in the 7-10 game, that tells you all you need to know. Mick Cronin's Bruins says that one was, what was Miller able to get in the tough angle on that hoop player before that?
Well, what was St. John's? Weren't they?
They were in the 4-5. They were the 5.
Yeah, I mean, the winner of the Big East is the 5 seed. I mean, my goodness. I mean, and then, of course, UConn, who goes all the way. And
from the 2 line, absolutely. I know Duke fans out there are still very, very nauseous over the ending of that game with UConn.
Great tournament this year, though. I mean, just a lot of good games. And, you know, some people say that there wasn't as many Cinderellas, but you still had some good first-round upsets. And, I mean, Duke they had to come back and barely survive the 116 game.
They were in some trouble in their opening game. Not an easy matchup against.
Was it Siena?
It was
I'm trying to remember now.
Jerry McNamara's team. Yeah, it was Siena, correct.
Yeah, Siena.
Jerry McNamara, who went to Syracuse and now coaching there after Siena. You're all right. The Saints had a double-figure lead on them, and then
late in the game they did. I mean, it was really those last 4 or 5 minutes that Duke started coming back, and yeah, I mean, it was just a great tournament.
Truly was. As
High Point had a big win.
And I see they're already making some waves, getting some players through the portal. And a guy that I got to see in high school, Jason Rivera-Torres, when he played at John Marshall up in Richmond, he's coming to their roster among some of the new faces and a lot of resources. They're one of those programs that's viewed in the mid-major realm, similar to VCU. They have the resources and the spending, the equity to go out there and make the roster, quite competitive with some of the big boys. As we get a timeout and a 14-point lead for Mike Duman, closing in on a spot in the championship game on Saturday night. It's the PIT, and you're watching with us on The Spot Norfolk 27.
I want to remind you,
The Portsmouth Invitational Tournament on The Spot, Norfolk 27. Sponsored by The Auto Connection.
Well, there's us. They've got us on the screen as we say hello to our friends watching us all across Prep Spin and on The Spot Norfolk 27. You see Joe Allen, our camera guy up top. With James Blackburn, I'm Matthew Hatfield. 14-point lead for Mike Duman against Portsmouth Partnership. NBA playoffs start this weekend as the play-in games are finishing up tonight, James. I know Oklahoma City's Thunder trying to go back-to-back for a championship. You got on Saturday the Raptors and Cavaliers, Timberwolves, Nuggets, Hawks, Knicks, Rockets, Lakers, and then Sunday you got the Celtics and Sixers, Blazers and Spurs. We'll see who the Thunder and Pistons get after the play-in games are done, but anything you're most looking forward to in that?
Really good basketball. The NBA playoffs is really like a different season, I would say, than the regular season. Not just it's not just, you know, more competitive, but the referees let them play a little bit more. Games start becoming tighter. Guys are playing both ends. Games are slowing down, and it just gets more and more intense as the playoffs go on. So big fan of the NBA playoffs every year and the matchups and just so much good talent. And now you've got the NBA play-in games, which adds some intrigue to that. So yeah, we'll see. A lot of stars on display as the Lakers now are starting to come around. And you've got, of course, Anthony Edwards with the Minnesota, and you've got Kevin Durant. So Steph Curry, you've got a lot of these older stars are still in it.
Yeah, it could be the last time that Javonte Campbell gets the putback after the free throws to make it an 11-point game that we see a Kevin Durant-LeBron James matchup in the postseason. You never know. Both those guys are getting up there in age. And, of course, I'm looking forward to seeing. We talk about Robbie Avila being the college joker. He of
Oh, yeah, we can't
St.
forget
Louis.
about Jokic.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Joker and the Nuggets, perhaps a second-round matchup with Wemby. Oh, there's a dunk. Van Allen Lubin throwing it down from NC State. Could be Wembanyama and the Spurs and Jokic's Nuggets in the second round. That might be a 7-game rock'em sock'em type of series if we get it. And we're now under 2 minutes to go in this one as some of these guys hope to be in the NBA playoffs one day. That's always the dream for these guys, from little kids to now closing out their college careers. They've gone through all those tough battles from the high school ranks and AAU to now here they are. And as the college basketball clock is pretty much winding down, it's over their college seasons, but now their careers as they realize the pro possibilities. The first of 2 free throws again for Campbell here. That one's off the mark. It always brings them back to what they grew up on, watching those guys, dreaming that they're going to be that star one day. And some of these guys get to play against those guys they idolized.
Absolutely.
I remember Jimmy Butler coming out of this event. You remember him, and of course he's hurt right now with the Golden State Warriors, but he got the Heat to an NBA Finals on a couple of occasions. The COVID-shortened year, and then the year they lost to Denver in the championship. But he was one of the success stories out of this PIT.
Yeah, there's been so many.
Second free throw is canned for Campbell to make it a 12-point game.
Especially nowadays, Matt, with the new E10s and the two-ways, so many guys are getting opportunities. As we see Portsmouth Partnership, they're trying to fight their way back in this, applying some full-court pressure and causing the turnover.
Peter Suter made that happen, and he almost did it again as he got hit in the face area. But my goodness, this guy's, the ticker never stopped for him. He keeps playing. We talked about his shooting not being up to his usual standard tonight, but my goodness, he's going to play until there's all zeros on the clock.
No, he's playing hard. Like you already said, leads Portsmouth and assist. Playing hard right there on defense, diving out of bounds, saving the possession. And it just might be a little bit too late, though, for Portsmouth. They're still down 10 with under 2 minutes now. And we'll see if Mike Newman, they've got the guy to break the press, though, with the ball, Boopy Miller. And
how about Lee? Doesn't get that layup to fall.
You got to finish that if you can shoot it early in the clock. Missed layups always lead to made layups, Matt, and that's not what you want to do right now. You've got to use clock if you're Mike Newman. You can't miss open layups.
The 14-point lead has been trimmed to 8 here. And that time he loses the handle, and it's a dunk, and we've got an injured player, so we're going to get a stoppage and play as that one is thrown down by Harris, and that was not a pretty sight.
Well, it was a non-contact injury. It was a very awkward fall. Is that Solomon?
As we see it again, and
it was just an awkward.
A lot of collapse as he got back up. That was a tricky situation for Anthony Roy, who.
Yeah, Anthony Roy. It looked like his foot just kind of slipped.
Very scary looking slip for Anthony Roy, the 6'5" guard from Oklahoma State in Oakland, California. Glad he's able to get back up. There was a lot of applauses for him. That was a tough moment. We'll see what his status is for.
I don't expect him to come back in the game, Matt.
Well, I'm thinking more for tomorrow.
More for tomorrow, absolutely, yeah, because
they already got one dinged up guy with Lee, and now Roy.
I see him over there. He is stretching it, and
I mean, he wants to go back in, and it's suddenly a 6-point game. It's a timeout. I think we're going to take our last one as well. We'll come back with the finish here with the PIT, the semifinals on the Spot Norfolk 27.
The Portsmouth Invitational Tournament on the Spot, Norfolk 27. Sponsored by the Auto Connection.
We don't want to speculate on the severity of the injury for Anthony Roy, who's the game's leading scorer from Oklahoma State for Mike Duman Incorporated with 24 points. And outside of a couple of ill-advised shots here and there, James, he's been pretty splendid tonight.
No, he has. He's shown the ability to finish in traffic and also hit the three. So right now, though, if you are Mike Duman, you got to make sure right now that you use some clock, but you have to get a good possession. Or we could get a backcourt.
Well, the ball was thrown backcourt, and again, that's the rule they've adopted for this event, and I think they're as you see, Coach Sarhan is telling them that should have been called, and they didn't call it right away. We'll see what the
This is a big call right here, Matt.
That
Huge
should
call.
be a backcourt. They called that a backcourt yesterday on multiple occasions, if you recall, for those that have been watching throughout this event. See it again, and it was thrown into the backcourt. That should be a backcourt and possession over to Portsmouth Partnership here with it says 12.8 on the clock, 1:28 on the clock. And this officiating crew has missed
Rudy
that
Gobert
one.
is not happy. This is the
AKA
second.
Marwin Sarhan, or I should say Marwin Sarhan, AKA
I can't
Rudy
believe they
Gobert.
kept the ball. I mean, I thought Joey Crawford would have come down on the court, man, and overturned it.
Yeah, this might be maybe past Joey's bedtime. He might not be there, but
there's
they're
the
going
makeup
to get it
call.
back.
Yeah, there's the makeup call with the 10 seconds. So
Coach Jordan puts his hands up and says, "Are you kidding me?"
Yeah,
he
that
crosses
was
the arms.
That was a makeup call, but now this is big, Matt. I mean, we
Now
thought this game was over.
He's giving the referee an earful here. Coach Jordan's got to be careful here as he speaks with, I'm not sure if that's Jason Almanza or Josh Reed, but one of the two referees here, along with Gina Cross.
Well, I mean, right now, Matt, this game's right here for the taking for Portsmouth Partnership. You're down 2 possessions with plenty of time left.
And it's been a 7-0 run the last 34 seconds.
All off the press and the turnovers. It was all the pressure.
And
So
all the
here's Peter
scoring here
Suter.
has been through.
Oh, quick bucket. This thing's back tight as we see the pressure now. They're going to trap Boopy.
Bryce Harris had scored, James, the previous 6 points on layups and dunks, but now you get that hoop from Suter. Down low, it's deflected, nearly stolen by Cleveland.
And they just look rattled right now, Matt. I mean, Mike Duman looks completely rattled. They don't know whether to go fast, don't know whether to pull it out, and they just need a good possession.
Well, and remember with that shot clock, it's at 10 here, so it's got you looking more and more at the clock and into that panic mode. You play into it.
Absolutely.
More than plenty of time here is
Plenty of time.
each team has a timeout remaining. Remember, 4 fouls for the home team, which is Mike Duman. Check that, which is Portsmouth Partnership, trailing 5 for the guests. So they don't have to foul just yet.
No, you don't need a foul.
Here's Xavier Lee, gets by one wave of defenders. Oh, Agee with the block. No foul calls. Lee is slow to get back up the floor. He's looking at the official for it. 3-point shot. No, it's going to be a shot fake. A pass out. Here's Zach Cleveland going to the rack
Huge
for 2.
bucket.
And he scores. It's a 2-point game. This could be an epic comeback. And
Wow.
a timeout by Coach Jordan. We'll keep it right here with 46 seconds to play. And my goodness, this one looked just about over, James, moments ago. And now it is still for the taking potentially for Portsmouth Partnership. Watch it again.
Yeah, great. Copeland ran through the pass and just attacked the basket. Great left-hand finish. But right now, if you're Portsmouth Partnership, understand that you don't need a foul. No matter what happens, you're going to get the ball back for another possession, okay? And what's going to be interesting out of this timeout, Matt, are we going to see full court pressure from Portsmouthship? Normally, I would say you would just drop back to a normal man-to-man defense. But they've got Mike Duman right now on the ropes.
Well,
They look rattled.
Yeah, I might actually go with more of a trap than a full court press, because if they break that first line, you're going to be having a race to the basket, 3-on-2, 2-on-1, and it's a layup.
Well, with guards like Boopy Miller, who can easily break the press. But right now, I would only say that just because Mike Duman does look rattled
It makes
against
a lot of
the
sense.
pressure.
But I'm looking for someone to isolate that you feel could be the weak link, the chink in the armor, if you will, that you can try to exploit in a situation to where it's a 2-point 2-point game here, you get that swipe. It's a 22-second difference between game and shot clock, because if you don't get that steal and the clock ticks down, you got a chance to tie or take the lead.
No, you do.
This was a 14-point advantage for Mike Duman with 2:51 to go, and it's almost evaporated.
Well, look who's been out of the game. Robbie Avila hasn't been in the game.
No, he
I've
hasn't.
almost looked for him to be in the game. He can be a good outlet guy at the top of the key. You know he's going to make a good play with the ball, so it's interesting that he's not in right now as Mike Duman's going small with plenty of guards.
But Roy is back, ready to come in and inbound it, looking
Good
for
call.
Lee or Miller. You've also got in the front court Solomon Washington as well as Van Allen Lubin. No Mitchell, no Avila, no Riley on the court here either.
Wow.
That's another one that's surprising. Riley with his above-the-rim rising ability. Miller's got it.
They've got they're giving him plenty of space right now. Look to get a high ball screen from Lubin.
2 injured guys and Lee and Roy out there. Will they take a shot? It's going to be Boopy trying to create here with 3 on the shot clock. Guarded by AG. Step back. Boopy Miller delivers with 20.4 seconds to go. The clutch gene is still there for the guard from SMU, who was 4th in the ACC in scoring, James, and 2nd in the Atlantic Coast Conference in assists per game. Bullseye.
Well, it almost looked like a broken play. I don't know if that's necessarily what they wanted, but when you got a guy like Boopy Miller on your team, he can make magic happen. So not only did they extend this thing out to 2 possessions, but, I mean, you're almost up, 6 points, up 5. So it's going to be – you've got to get a quick score right now if you're Portsmouth Partnership. If you're Mike Duman, you don't want to foul. You do not want to foul right now.
A 2 or a 3 here in the hands of Suter.
You got to get something quick.
AG for 3. That's not his forte.
Not the shot you want.
And it looks like Mike Duman's going to have a chance to hang on, although the foul on the floor.
It looks like it's going to be on
8.8 seconds to go.
Are they calling in on Mike Duman?
I believe they are.
Yeah, you don't want to foul right here. That's the last thing you want to do. You're giving them 2 free throws, a chance to set their pressure defense. You could get this thing to 1 possession, get a steal. Almost could be like the NIT championship.
Yeah. Auburn was able to pull it from Tulsa Victor.
Yeah.
Look, it's going to be it's going to be not AG, rather it's going to be Bryce Harris shooting the free throws after the foul was committed by Washington, his 4th personal.
Yeah, I mean, right now, you've got to make both these free throws and get your full court defense set up where you can either get a quick trap, but if you get it out, you got to foul immediately.
First one good, one more coming.
This is the big one. You got to hit this one.
And it's good.
Right now, you got to get the ball. Well, it looks like we've got, they were going to call the timeout just to advance the ball. That's a really good timeout right there. Really good
smart
timeout.
by Salim Sotomayor, Gregory Ackles, and Coach Jeremy Jordan in these final seconds.
That's a big advantage gain there. So now you're going to look to foul immediately on the catch.
Roy's going to try to get it in here.
Got to foul. You got to
Washington over to
foul.
Lee, and it's going to be foul. Washington got the foul there. I think they would have preferred Lee shooting those free throws, don't you?
Oh, absolutely. So now you've got Washington going to the line. Has he taken a free throw? He has. He's 2 for 2 tonight from the free throw line, but a quiet 11 points.
And remember, his free throw shooting is hit or miss at 68.8% for his career.
Yeah, so you would have rather had Lee shoot. So credit Portsmouth there for fouling quickly.
Well, one could just about do it.
It would.
And that one does give them a 4-point lead and the cushion.
If you get 5 points, there's no 5-pointers on the floor, Matt. You could possibly
without timeouts, it makes it harder to continue extending the game.
Yeah. If you're Mike Duman right now, you want to get this free throw done, and then you do not want to foul at all.
Second one is good, so Washington coming through in the clutch. And they called the timeout. That's the last one.
I didn't know they had one, but...
Yeah, I thought they were done as well, but they did have one left, so that's going to erase the timeouts here with 7 ticks to go. We'll keep it here.
Yeah, you're going to look... I'm sure they're going to be able to advance the ball, so right here you can look to get some sort of weak side stagger screen, maybe free Suter up for a 3, possibly Cleveland, Max McKinnon. Some 3-point shooters on the floor. You've got to get a quick 3 right here. You can't even really afford to get a 2. Not enough time. Got to get a quick 3, and then you're going to have to foul immediately. And just hope for missed free throws at this point.
As we get ready to sign off here, when this one does come to a close, I want to thank our entire team from William Warfield, Joe Allen, of course, Clyde Martindale on camera with Joe, as well as all the folks from Prep Spin. Don't want to leave out Tori Bailey and our partners today. For me, Matt Hatfield, it includes the guy to my right, and James Blackburn, as well as Jordan Maka today, and Tanner Massey. You'll also hear from the likes of Ed Young and Charles Blackwell Isler tomorrow. I believe we also have Jordan Allen with us, so we've got more coverage coming for you on Saturday with 4 games. Portsmouth Economic Development against Rounds Landscape at 12:30 in the seventh place game. The 5th place game, Sales Systems against Norfolk Sports Club at 2:30. Jenna King is going to await the loser of this for the 3rd place game, and Portsmouth Sports Club in the championship. This game.
Way too much time, and you can't really afford to get it too.
Quick layup by Harrison. They foul lead right away with 1.7 seconds to go. So you got the schedule there. And again, if you want to find out more about this event, you can always go online to PortsmouthInvitational.com, and of course, go.prepspin.com is your website for all the links to watch this online, and the game's available in the Hampton Roads Market on the Spot Norfolk 27. That's Verizon Fios 506 and Cox Channel 44. And Xavier Lee looking to put this one to bed with free throws. Pretty ironic, the guy that got off to the good start has the wrist injury, gets to the line, and cool, calm, and collected hits that first free throw. Now he could miss this one even intentionally if he wanted.
Yeah, I mean,
it just makes the clock run.
At this point, though, I'm getting another bucket for my stat sheet.
He does, and he misses it. Rebounded by AG, and that one's going to do it. Final score will be, oh, how about that, by the way?
Even if it would have gone in, it would have just allowed them to, it would have probably affected somebody's parlay, Matt.
92-88, Mike Duman Incorporated victorious over Portsmouth Partnership. Anthony Roy with 24 points from Oklahoma State to lead the way. Bryce Harris, by the way, able to get himself like 16 points in defeat. This was fun, James, and we'll put the finishing touches on tomorrow with 4 games and a championship being crowned here at the PIT.
Had fun. See you guys soon.
For James Blackburn, Matthew Hatfield signing off from Portsmouth, Virginia. You've been watching the 72nd annual PIT through Prep Spin, and of course, our friends with On the Spot Norfolk 27. Good night, everyone.